A1, it is module 1 and module 2. Okay, so be prepared and take the IE test properly. Okay, don't skip it. Can you see the screen? IMC module 4 direct marketing. I hope it is visible to all. Just a second, I'll put it on slide 2. Okay, till then you already know we have completed 3 modules. This is the 4th module. Okay, the videos will be uploaded soon, as well as I have sent the uh, material for module 1 and 2. So in some time I'll be sending for module 3 as well. So as soon as we finish module 4, I'll be sending the uh, material for module 4 as well. Okay. So today we are starting with module 4, and the name of the chapter is direct marketing. Okay. So first we'll look at what is direct marketing. Direct marketing is a system of marketing by which organizations communicate directly with target customers to generate a response or transaction. So the things to be seen here is direct marketing. What it is marketing by whom organizations forward communicating directly with target audience or target customers or target prospect customers to do what? To generate response or transaction. So in normal words, if you can say it is like, okay, as I am a organization, I am directly in touch with my customers or prospect customers for what? To get the response in terms of transaction or response. It depends on what kind of response you are looking at. So most of the time it will be sales, but other than sales also there will be many things like getting feedback or getting some more information related about your product, getting to know about any problems they are facing with the products. Okay, do they need any improvement? Okay, so these are some of the things where the organizations contact the customers or prospect customers to know many things, plus to intimidate them to have a transaction. Transaction in the sense the buying of the products of that particular organization. Okay, this is direct marketing. Then what is direct marketing? Again, some things are elaborated here. It is the total activities by which a seller, okay, in affecting the exchange of goods and services with the buyer, directs effort to a target audience using one or more media. Okay, here it is bit more like what you call explained better. Okay, these are the total activities by a seller. Okay, seller in the sense it may not be only the companies or the organizations. It could be the wholesaler, it could be the retailer. Okay, everyone, basically people who want to sell their products. Okay, their products in, sense, in their shop or in their distribution network or something like that. Okay, it's a total of activities by which a seller in affecting the exchange of goods. So he wants to influence the exchange of goods in the sense he wants to increase his sales basically. Okay, exchange of goods and services with the buyer directs effort to a target audience. Here, direct marketing is mostly used for a target audience. You cannot go like haywire everywhere. Okay, so you'll be having a target in a STP model. You know, you have already segmented, you have targeted. So only the targeted people will be having this particular efforts directed. Okay, direct marketing is only like directed towards this particular audience only. Okay, target audience only using one or more media. Okay, there are many things. Okay, there could be direct mail where you send them some things like catalogs, brochures also, or you directly go to the house. Okay, or to the place of work. So this is also a different media. One is mailing and the other is you are personally going there. Okay, then it could be TV ads also, where it is directly asking them to buy something at this particular place or coming there to buy something where it is exclusively available. So again, it is directly communicating to the end users or the customers and telling them to do something. Okay, so this is so example also I've given here: direct selling, direct mail, telemarketing. You can call them. Okay, telemarketing is you will be having a set of numbers of your prospect customers or your customers only. So you're calling them and telling them, okay, so if any new discounts are there, new products are there, so if you are having any functions, okay, or some discount festivals or something, so you're calling them and telling. So in all the shops, retail and wholesale, these things will be done. So if something new they are coming, so they will be having a set of customers who buy on a regular basis and on a huge quantity. So those people will be, I mean, the companies or the retailers or the shops will be calling these people, and these will be select some. If it's a very big chain or very big shop and all, there will be some 100 or 200 people. Okay, if it's a small shop, there will be 20 or 30 people whom they will be calling. Like they think it is potential. Okay, they may come and buy. So they'll call them and they'll invite them to their shop or the place of exhibition. So when they are coming there, and that's an opportunity to sell. So right, so there telemarketing is used. Then direct action like advertising, catalog selling, etc. I told you like a particular advertisement is put in a certain media setting to do some things by the customers. Then catalog sending them direct mails, like catalogs are being sent, brochures are being sent, stating that these all products are available. If you are needing any of these, you can have an order on this particular email ID or phone number. So any contact details would be given to them for the purpose of selling or soliciting a response by phone, mail, or personal visit from a prospect or customer. So what do they say? So after giving them all these informations, they are telling them to contact if in case of any requirement by phone, mail, personal visit, or from a prospect or a customer. So you can ask them to through contact us through all these particular channels. This is direct marketing. Okay, here what all we saw. So we are again having a one-to-one conversation. Okay, and using different media. So all put together, we are having this target marketing. So what all will be included here? It is direct selling, direct mail, okay, then telemarketing, direct actions of advertising, catalog selling, etc. Okay, for the purpose of selling or soliciting the response by phone, mail, or personal visit from a prospect or a customer. The customer can visit them directly, mail them, or have a phone conversation stating he needs that particular product he is willing to buy, and whatever information if required by him will be asked through these particular channels. This is direct marketing. Next, coming to features of direct marketing. So what are features? Okay, so to see, there are some here. It goes directly to an identified person or a household. So this is one of the features where you are directly targeting a person whom you know. Okay, whom you know in the sense not personally. Whom you know means whom you feel a person is like ready to buy or he's in need of your product. So that is what I'm saying. Identified person or a household. In terms of he might be a prospect customer or he might be a present customer of yours. So directly you can contact him. That is one of the features. Then the goal of direct marketing is different type of actions. As I already told, selling is one of those. Getting information is another. Various kinds of information like how far he is using my product, like how long, any difficulties, if he needs any changes. Okay, all those things are there. Then you could ask for his satisfaction level. Okay, then based on different things like the services are being provided by the company, if any. Okay, then the product, how it is being used, any consumables. Okay, anything that is being what do you call, any part has to be replaced on a regular basis. So there are so many products which need all these things. So this kind of information, plus you can also give information about the new products that are there in the market, new and advanced products. So if they say okay, some of the problems are there, and if you had already come up with a product overcoming those problems, you can suggest them. Okay, so these are the problems which are faced by you, and even we got to know from various people. Okay, then we have come up with a new product where we are basically overcome those particular problems in the earlier product. So these are some of the uh, things where the features of direct marketing are helpful. Then the results can be measured with precision. because you are going one to one and a very select target market is being catered. So we can measure the precision, like we can measure the effectiveness precisely. In the sense, if you are contacting 10 people, so out of them, how many agreed to buy your product, or how many of them gave the information that you sought for? Directly, you can, with 100% accuracy, you can ready. If you're calling 10 people, okay, 5 people said okay and they're ready to give the information, 2 people are ready to buy my product as well, and there are another 2 to 3 people who did not respond well. So, this data what I'm telling you, or the measurement on what I'm telling you is 100% accurate, because I'm calling and I'm getting the response and I'm noting it. So out of 10 I gave you, like out of 100 it might be then 20 people who are ready to buy, 50 people who are ready to give information, related information they're already using, and rest some 10 to 20 people may not be interested, or they are having a product and it is working well as of now. Okay, this all information with accuracy can be got here. Then it is interactive. So as you are directly talking to them and you are getting a response and you are again responding to that. So it is interactive. So I am asking a question, you are answering. So if I want more information, I'll ask you again. I'll ask you more questions. Then you are replying to it. Right? So it is interactive. It's not only like face to face, it could be over mails, over chats. Okay, you're sending a mail regarding asking of certain questions. So you'll send a reply mail stating all the answers. Okay, and further, if the person is having any difficulties or doubts, he'll send a mail again stating, okay, thanks for the response, and I want to clarification and all these points. So what I'm thinking is right or wrong. So need more information on this, or on this particular product, or this particular terms and conditions. So all these things. There are front and forth, back and forth. We are having the mails exchange, so that it is taken as interactive. So if it is face to face, you'll tell them again any questions that will be shooted at you, then you will be answering them. So over mails, over chats, okay. So all these things will happen. So it is interactive. Then make use of customer database. Here, as it is target in the sense that you cannot remember everyone and everything. So there will be a database that is mentioned, okay, or there will be a database that is maintained basically. Okay, the old customers, the present customers, people who bought multiple number of times, people who visit you daily or on a regular basis. Okay, then you may at times need to remind that you are there in the market. Many a times it so happens that, so if a new store or anything is being opened very near to the customer's place, so people tend to go there. So you need to call them and say that yes, even you were coming here, you were satisfied. So why don't you try us again? Okay. So again, reminder calls needs to be there. So for that we need to maintain a database. So this particular direct marketing makes use of customer database. So these are some of the features of direct marketing. Then comes functions of direct marketing. So what is the function, or where it helps? It helps to build a brand. Okay, because you are directly in touch with the customer, you are replying to their problems, their queries. Okay, you are building a brand. So which means a trust to the customer, stating that if they tell you a name or the name of your brand, okay, then that means there is a sense of trust, right? To get sales leads, you call them, you ask, okay, so people will say, okay, call me later, or yes, I am interested, but I'll be purchasing it in the next month, or after this particular product is over or something. So you're getting leads, so where you can go back and get in touch with those people and sell your products. So you are getting leads. Or it may so happen that your friend might have told that he also or she also wants. So when they call you, take down his or her number, get that particular product or that particular service. So here, from the company's point of view, they are getting more leads. Okay, then to help build a new customer base. Okay, base I forgot. Here it is, to help new customer base. In the sense, so existing customers are always there, but people or the companies or the retailers or the market they are trying to bring new and new customers with them. Okay, they want to increase their market share always. So as it is a direct marketing, so there are chances of increasing. As I told you the example of your friend. Okay, when they contact you and you know that your friend also needs it, so you can suggest the company to contact that particular person, so that he also is benefited, plus you are also benefited as you are selling your product and is using and getting his needs fulfilled. Okay, so your new customer base also is being created. Then to retain or increase the businesses from existing customers. So many of the times it may so happen, as I told you, something new comes up and people are drawn towards it. But to retain the customers, people have come and gone, but they need to come again, right? So you need to retain. Plus, we need to increase the business from existing customers. In the sense, if they are buying one in quantity, so you can talk to them, or if their need is more, so you can sell them more than one product. Okay, if you are having multiple products. Okay, so if you are like for example, if you are a company who is producing FMCG products, okay, and if the customer is buying only your soap, then you can ask him to buy your shampoo as well, buy your toothpaste as well, buy your conditioner, okay, then buy your toiletries, buy your toothpaste, toothbrush. So some of these like FMCG products. So as a customer of one thing, you can ask them to at least try once. If you like it, well and good. Otherwise, you can anyway go to other brands. There are so many brands in the market, so you can lure them like this, stating that if you try them once, if you are satisfied, you can continue. Otherwise, you can drop the product. So always there is a chance of that. We never say drop the product, but we say at least try and see. Why can't you try our product? So it might be very helpful to you. You may like it. So people will not say anything negative. Okay, but as a person, you already know it that if you are not liking it, you will drop it and you will buy a new product or a different product to try again, or you'll go back to your earlier product because you already were satisfied with the product and you're trying it now. So if this is better, you can go to that or you can buy this. If not, you'll surely try new one or you go back to the earlier product that you were using. Okay. Then to improve selection of market segment. So as it is a target thing, you already know the responses and the accuracy is also very very high. So you already know that are you getting enough customers to sustain in the market, or you need to find a new target market or new target segment. Okay, so it may so happen that without your notice you might have already catering to different segment also. The only thing is you need to recognize it and put more efforts there. Even that could be possible as you already know the results, or it could be better evaluated, okay, with a greater efficiency. Then to stimulate repeat purchase. So as a customer is there, he comes and goes, he takes your product, and average time would be there where your product, where consumer needs to buy your product again. So it could be washing powder, for example, 1 kg if he buys, and on an average 1 kg of powder is enough for washing clothes for around 1 month. So as and when a month is over, so you can contact. Like if your major product is the washing powder, then you contact the customers. Yes, sir. It's almost a month now. I hope your powder is about to finish. So why don't you buy? Okay, there's a reminder again. Fine. So you are stimulating repeat purchase. You are trying to address the customer, stating this you are in need of it now because it's about to finish in your house, so you need to buy more. Okay, like for example, he buys a big pack of 4 kgs or 5 kgs. So if you see Surf Excel and all, you are getting 4 kgs plus 2 kgs or 2 kgs plus 1 kg in free. So this particular bundling is being done. Buy more, you are getting more, what do you call, of the same product in the same packet basically. Okay, so this like buy 4 kgs and you're getting 2 kgs for free, or buy 2 kgs you're getting 1 kg free. So something like this it is there. Okay, so here again you know like he's buying that particular product and it works for so many days or so many months. Then he will come or he is in need of it. So why don't you encash? So you call the customer stating that yes, you have bought this, it's about to finish. So why don't you have a repurchase? So if you are having like home delivery also, you can even offer that. So I'm having home delivery, can I send it to you? Then in the way you can ask them, okay, any other products are also required. You just let me know. So as I'm sending this product, I'll be sending those products also with that. So you are even increasing the sales of the product plus different products which are there or which are associated with it. Okay, so to stimulate repeat purchase. Next, to generate goodwill. So you are having goodwill towards the company, stating that okay, they take so much care of us. Okay, so they make an attempt to go back to your product only, as you are showing them such good response or you are taking such good care of them. So you are generating goodwill. So goodwill is something which is intangible. You cannot see and touch it, but you can feel it, and it costs a lot. Okay, to generate goodwill. So it may so happen that there is like in your accounts and all, there should be something which, if you are spending, should be there. Okay, but goodwill cannot be measured. So if you are having a very large goodwill, okay, in the people, that there will be repeat purchases, there will be more of sales, people trust you. Okay, if you are asking something, they'll do it for you. So that is what is generating goodwill means. So this helps a lot to the company. So you need to have a very goodwill or good rapport, what we call, with the customers or with the different companies whom are you selling to, based on what kind of product you are selling. It could be B2B or B2C. So these are some of the functions of direct marketing. Next, advantages of direct marketing. So we saw functions, then before that we saw features, functions, and now advantages. So what are advantages? Selective reach. So what is selective reach? We already know. So we can cater a direct, like targeted market. So that is selective reach. We can select. We can only call these number of people. Like for example, if you are buying a particular automobile, it could be a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler. So as and when it is due for servicing, okay, your automotive dealer will call you. Okay, sir, you are having this particular vehicle, right? Yes, then it is due for servicing. So selective reach. Out of all their customers, he will call only those customers, selected customers whose automotive servicing is due. Okay, so that is a selective thing. Otherwise, he has to send information to all the people. There might be a person who is currently doing the service, or there might be a person who has completed his service yesterday. If you send him that particular message, he'll be annoyed. Plus, he'll say that, "Hey, yesterday only I have done it, or my vehicle is presently being serviced in a service station. You are sending this message again, or you're calling and telling me again." But that would be having a wrong impact or adverse effect on the customers. Instead, so you can call them stating that okay, in 2 days or 3 days or in this particular week you are due for service. You can call them, you can ask them to book an appointment then and there, or based on their situation, if they might be needing that particular vehicle on a continuous basis. So they need to make an arrangement for that to keep their vehicle or send their vehicle to service centers. Okay, so till then they need some communication, like commuting vehicle, right? They should make arrangement of it. If they are having a different vehicle, well and good. Otherwise, they need to ask their friend, or they need to get, or they need to use alternate transports. Right? It could be government transports as well. So for those things, you are asking them or facilitating them, stating that okay, it's for due. So you can make your arrangements. Then you can send your vehicle to service. So this is selective reach. Then segmentation capabilities. So you can segment properly. As I gave example of the due vehicles for servicing. So you are segmenting. Okay, out of all your customers, you are segmenting only the customers whom whose service is due. Okay, segmentation capabilities are very high here, and reaching that particular target or that target person effectively, it can be done. Next is frequency. What is frequency? The number of times you are contacting. It could be ads or it could be anything basically, or sending the information. So many times what happens here, as it is a very selective market and segmentation possibilities are very high. So you need to decide how many times a day, how many times a week, or how many times a month you need to expose your customers to your ad or to the information that you want to tell them. So that is frequency, and could be done very easily because selected number of people, and you are using how many times, you already know how many times you want to show them. So in what frequencies also, like in what channels also you can find out. Plus you can find out the timing, like whether it should be shown in the morning, afternoon, evening, or night. So those things are also there. So it helps in having a right frequency. Then comes flexibility. So as you already know, target audience are only there. So you will get to know what kind of media they are like exposed to more. So you can easily adapt to those particular media. So that is flexibility. So you can suddenly, like if you are directly, you are mailing direct to them, and if they feel that okay, they are always at home. So in this pandemic time, at least most of them will be at home. But if they, like the restrictions are made less, so you can send your representatives to the houses or to the offices, stating that okay, these things are available. So if you want, we are here, we can take your vehicle. For example, if it is for servicing, they'll come there, they'll take your vehicle and they'll service and give it back. Or it could be any servicing of electronic devices at your home. So we are here. If anything is there, let us know. We'll do the work. We'll take payment accordingly and move off. Okay, no need to have an appointment or anything. So that is flexibility. You can have as and when, or you can change from one media to another media as and how you require. Okay, then timing. As I told you, morning, afternoon, or evening. You can select the timings as well. Okay, so here we are having a lot of what you call information which could be used in a proper way to reach all the customers, okay, all the prospect customers, and get maximum results out of it. So here timing, so when they are free, you can ask them when you are free, I can give you a call or I can send a mail at this particular time. So they will tell you a particular time which when they are free. Then when you are sending your information to them, they'll go through it freely, then they'll respond back to you in certain period of time. Okay, then personalization. As a very less number of people or a very targeted audience is being uh, taken care of, you can personalize the message. Okay, you can directly, like if it is a mass message where you're sending to all your prospect customers, it could be in hundreds, or it could be in thousands, or it could be in lakhs, but you could personalize it. So daily you can send around 2000, 3000 mails putting their name personally, or there are now technology or the softwares which directly you can put the names there, and it will be sent to multiple people in thousands or in lakhs also in a very short period of time. And you can personalize the message as well according to what product they are using, how frequently they are using, what is the amount of purchase. So everything, all these things taken into consideration, you can have a personalized thing. Like for example, you are looking into DMart or Big Bazaar, and you are continuously buying from there. So what they can do, they can check what all are the products that you are buying on a regular basis. Okay, plus they could see if there are any discounts on any of those, then that could be communicated to you because you are a potential customer now, and they already know that you have bought it and you are buying it on a consistent basis. When you are coming there, you are buying that particular product. It could be anything. It could be rice, it could be any soap, it could be any shampoo, or it could be any chips. It could be anything for that matter, whatever they are selling. So as it is a regular basis buying, so if there is any discount, so you can lure them in, stating that okay, there is discount on that. And when you go there, you can show them other products also. Okay, and you can ask them to buy the other products. Yes, this happens. So you go to a particular shop to buy one thing, and with that you buy many other things because you were not noticing the need of it. But when you go and see there, then you buy all those things. Okay, or it may so happen that you are there to buy a particular what you call a grocery, and you see a nice dress. Okay, then you go there and buy that particular dress as well, because but your intention was not to buy that particular dress. You had gone there to buy something else. But you saw that particular dress, you got impressed and you want to have it, you go there, you try it, you like it, you go and purchase it. So these additional purchases also will happen if you call them to the store. But on what basis you are called? On the basis of their regular purchase. And you got some additional purchase as well. That is personalization. Then costs. Yeah, what are costs? So as you are targeting only few number of people, and there is a lot of you are saving on the waste coverage. There will be no waste coverage as of that, but there would be some. Okay, in some of the instances there would be some, but at a very minimum level. So that even the costs are reducing because you are not having in general to all, and there are very few who are your target audience. It's not like that. So as you are catering to a targeted audience exactly, and you are trying to reach them, okay, perfectly direct, like you know everything, their contact number, their email ID and all. So your costs of doing so is reduced. Then measures of effectiveness. So as I already told, because you're calling them, you can, or you can mailing them. So you already know like how many people exactly have you reached. Okay, the effectiveness you can measure on a high accuracy. Okay, this is what is measure of effectiveness. So eight advantages: selective reach, segmentation capabilities, frequency, flexibility, timing, personalization, costs, and measures of effectiveness. Then, as you already know, if there are advantages and there will be some disadvantages as well. Okay, image factors. What are these image factors? So huge company have to maintain their image. They just cannot send you emails. Okay, why? Because many of the time people feel that those are junk mails or spam mails. They'll put them there. Okay. Then that particular image won't be there. Okay. And it may so happen that multiple times if you are sending mails of the same thing, or it could be emails, messages, or many people are contacting you for the same thing. People, I mean, the customers get irritated. Okay. So there they feel that you are having a lot of try to convince them, or a negative impact on the customer happens basically. If they even really wanting to buy, because of all these things, they may say, "Arey, I don't want to go now. I am upset because of all these things." So these things may happen, and your image goes down in the minds of the people. Next is accuracy. So we are from long time we are talking about high accuracy, higher accuracy, but you can see here it is in disadvantages as well. So why I am telling you is, so we just have seen that there is a database that will be used to communicate to the target audience. But if the database is not properly maintained, okay, there are people who change their phone numbers, okay, on a regular basis. There are people who change jobs on not regular basis, but usually it so happens that people tend to change their jobs. Okay, if one person is working in one company and using a particular product, so if you after a long period of time, if you are contacting him for the same thing, you might have moved on to a different company where he may not be using your product as of now. Okay, just as an example, I'm telling you. Okay, so even those things are very important. And if you are sending a message, or if you're trying to call a particular person after a long time where the person has changed his phone number, the accuracy decreases. Okay, so we need to update our database on a regular basis, and more information and correct information should be fed into the system. Otherwise, what they do? So if you are hired in that particular place, okay, to contact the customer, what do? You go, you don't go and get your own database. The database is already there. What you need to do? You need to see the phone number. You need to call. So if the person has already changed the phone number, it may go to some other person. It is already being assigned to a different person, and he says it's a wrong number, or it may say that this particular number does not exist. So you are failing in delivering the message basically. So the accuracy decreases in this particular way if you are not maintaining your database properly. Then content support in the sense, the problem is you cannot tell everything at once. Okay, and a particular content has to be put in a particular way through a particular media only. Okay, you cannot tell everything, so that is the only disadvantage here, stating that content. So for example, if you are having a uh, one-on-one conversation. You're going from house to house. You're sending a representative, but he cannot tell everything to everyone, or he cannot go to all the houses in one day. Okay, so that is content support, where it is difficult to maintain all the content throughout to all the people. Okay, that is what is the problem. Then rising costs. So what are rising costs? So if you are mailing your catalog or your brochure, the cost of mailing is direct mails are getting increased. Okay, so even the as the lifestyle is increasing, as well as the inflation is increasing, if you're using many people to do it, you need to pay them on a higher basis, right? Year on year, the prices will go on increasing, and you need to increase the salaries as well. So those are rising costs. So here, whatever you are doing, everything, even if it is done to the direct audience, or I mean to the perfect audience directly, but still you need money. And day by day, the costs are increasing. So that is rising cost is one of the disadvantage of direct marketing. Then direct marketing strategies. Here two things are there. You can see on the screen, one step approach and two step approach. What are they? Each of the media used in direct marketing generally follow either one step or two step process. So what is this? In one step process, okay, not there. Fine, not an issue. I'll just explain. One step approach. What is one step approach? Here you are directly communicating with the customers, getting the information, and if they need the product, you are selling them on one go. So this is one step approach. What is one step approach? You are contacting the customer, okay, directly. You are asking them particular questions. You are making them aware of the need. Okay, and if they really want to buy, you are selling them the product. This is one step approach. Two step approach, as the name states, we are having two steps. The first step is the same. You are contacting the customers directly. You are asking some questions. You are getting the responses. You are recording those. Okay. Plus, what is the second step here is you are contacting back the customers only whom you think are potential, whom you find potential of buying. So you don't want to waste the effort again stating that okay, they had already I had already contacted them. That will not work. So there are some signs, or some people are direct about it, that if they want to buy your product or they show some interest towards your product. So if those are the people, those may be called as potential buyers. Okay, that if you contact only the potential buyers, your chances of selling the product goes on, like the chances of selling your product goes on a higher basis. Okay, it becomes high. So like in general, if you are contacting 100 people, out of 100 people only 10 or 15 may take. Okay, so your percentage is 10 to 15% of completing the transaction or completing the deal. But so you can go, like again taking the example of 100 people only. So if you find some 20 to 30 potential people, okay, then you can contact them or persuade them again. So out of the 20 to 30 people, the chances of buying of 15 to 20 or even 25 people out of 30 is there. The efficiency now, if you see, goes very high. So 100 to 15, out of 30 you are getting 20 to 25, because you already know those people have showed interest in your product. Okay, but still, even if they show interest, that doesn't mean they'll buy. So there will be some people who are just keen on knowing more information, then they'll decide. And some people who have already decided based on whatever information you have given and whatever they know earlier. So based on this, they have already made up their mind. So those are potential customers. So in the second step, we are only concentrating on the potential customers, or the customers who are basically uh, wanting to buy my product or showing interest on my product. So this is two-step approach. One step, contact them if they want, select and finish it out. In two steps, contact them, gather the information, then screen the potential candidates who show interest or who are willing to buy your product. Then concentrate your efforts on only those people, so that you are making maximum output from whatever efforts you are putting there. So this is one step approach and two step approach. As it is said, most of the direct marketing efforts, or most of the people who do direct marketing either go for one step approach or two step approach. Then comes sales promotion. What is sales promotion? Sales promotion is defined as a direct inducement that offers an extra value or incentive for the product to the sales force. Sales force distributors are the ultimate consumers with the primary objective of creating an immediate sell. Sales promotion is defined as a direct inducement that offers an extra value or incentive for the product to the sales force distributors of the ultimate consumer. So promotion in the sense you might have seen, you go to a mall, not now, but you could have gone to a mall. Now after the corona subsides, if the malls are open, then if you go there, so you could see some of the people would be promoting their product. Okay, stating that okay, this is my product, you can use it. There could be demos and all. If you book the product now, there is an additional discount of 2%, 3%, or up to 10% also. They say so. This is a sales promotion which is being done. So they are inducing extra offers to them. Okay, stating that if you buy now or if you book now, or in another half an hour which we are here, if you book the product now, paying a certain advance, okay, you are getting a discount of so much. Okay, this is an example of a direct inducement of an offer. So the offer could be on the product for the sales force. If they say, okay, today if you sell so much, your incentives will be increased. So something to the sales force, then distributors. So if you sell these many quantity for in this particular month, yes, an additional 2% will be given to you. Okay, or you'll be getting more products in less quantity, or two products will be given extra, or there is an offer like if you sell so much, you will be getting a air cooler, or you will be getting a AC, you are getting a fridge, you are getting a TV. Okay, so if you achieve that particular target, so this is some of the promotion, sales promotion done. The sales force distributors or the ultimate consumers. I explained about the ultimate consumers. You go to mall or you stand somewhere where there is huge crowd, and you show the product, you give a demo as well. Plus, you say that if you buy now or if you purchase now or if you book now with me, there is a extra. There is a yeah, there is an extra uh, percentage of discount or more number of items or some other advantage could be given to you. Like if you buy now, okay, the discounts are over. Now you can have 6 months of extra warranty more. Okay, so there could be an extra warranty on some of the parts, or you get discounts on the consumables. Okay, like for example, if you buy a washing machine, you will be having a 10% discount on all the powder that you buy for next 1 year. Okay, the washing powder that you use in your washing machine. So that could be an extra benefit as sales promotion. Okay, you can do it in collaboration as well with the company which is producing the washing machine as well as the company producing the washing powder. So they can come together and they can give a particular offer like this. If you buy a product, you are getting 10% discount on all the powder, washing powder that you are using here. It could be a particular brand, or it could be a few brands, or it could be on any powder. It depends on the collaborators, or it depends on the person or the owner of the particular washing machine if he is doing it on a standalone basis. Okay, so this is direct sales promotion. So what is the objective of doing so? Is creating an immediate sell. So that is what we say, immediate sell. So if you buy now, there is a coupon which you could scratch now only, and you can buy that particular product, or you are getting a gift hamper on the purchase of this. So if it is immediate, people tend to have an effect on it and they tend to buy it or they book it then and there if they are in really need of it, or if you convince them to do so. Okay, so that is sales promotion. Next, importance of sales promotion. So why it is important for introducing new products and services. So when new things are there into the market, people are very reluctant. They may say no to the product. They may not be ready to use the product. So what do you need to do? you should come up with such promotional things where you need to make them use your product. So there are like out of 100, if you make, there might be some 5 or 6 or 10 people who might like the product. Okay, then they could start buying the products and services. So that's why it is called as a market share. So and there is a market. So the market doesn't mean you are each and every person in the market. It's like the person, people who are using such product or similar product is termed as a market. So out of that there is a market share again for your products and for the products of other competitors of yours. Okay, so whenever you are introducing a new product, people are very skeptical about it. Skeptical, not skeptical. Skeptical about the product, whether it works as it is new to the market. Should I use it or no? Are there any side effects for it? Okay. So is the price high? If there are no similar products into the market. So all these things come into the minds of the people. So we see that okay, let some of the people use it. Then we will see the reviews. Then we'll, if required, we'll buy it. So many people are like that also. Okay. Then comes to clear accumulated inventory. Yes, you are promoting sales. Okay, you are pushing sales so that it may so happen that you might have a large inventory with you and you want to clear it out. So you can see clearance sale up to 40% off. So you go there seeing that okay 40% off is there. You ignore that up to. When you go there, you see that okay, there is a 2000 rupees product. Then you'll tell him okay, pack this. I think I need to pay you 1100 rupees. And he says no, it will cost you 1500 rupees. The board is 40%. So at that time, we'll tell you it is up to 40%, sir or madam. It is not 40% directly. So this product is having less discount. So you need to pay 1500. So you need to make sure that you look into the offers properly. If there are any stars or the up to will be written on a very short or a very small font. Okay, up to in a very small font and 40 will be written very big. So you see only 40 and you fail to see that up to which is written there or you fail to see that star which is there on top of it. Okay, so a star means there are additional terms and conditions to avail that particular offer. So 40% offer with the star says when you go there, he'll say, sir, minimum purchase amount should be 3000. Then only you get this particular discount, 40%. It could be so also. So these are new things which people are introducing to clear out their inventory. So whatever reason, if the inventory is piled up, for example, in a retail store, you might think based on the previous quarter's sales. So if it is like 500 pairs of shoes has already been sold, so you will order again 500. Okay, you will be having some quantity with you plus you will order some 500. Okay, based on seeing the earlier sales. So it may so happen this time only 200 pairs go. Okay, and you are left with 300 plus your existing stock. So you want to clear it now. So as and when new products come, you need to keep those. So if you push them inside your store, it will go on piling up. So instead, what they do, they'll put clear and sale. Only these particular products are there for sale. If you go to some of the showrooms or some of the shops where footwears, usually they say there is a section where they say only those products are on discount and something else if you buy, you have to pay the whole price. Okay, so this you might have seen in many places. So this is also kind of sales promotion where they are luring in. So if you select in the discounted one, well and good, but it may so happen that you end up selecting something where you need to pay the full thing, full amount. So you need to pay and you need to take. Then it is used as an effective tool to get market share from rivals. Okay, so even you compare. Okay, this person is giving this much of discount, the other competitor is not giving, the products are almost similar, and also it is similar in durability as well and in quality as well. So why don't I buy with the person who is giving me discounts, right? So similar thing is happening over here, right? Same product is there, same quality is there. If you go to a brick and mortar store, there the prices are different, and when you check online, the prices are different. Plus, you need to go to the store and pay him immediately and get it. So here again you are getting cash on delivery. There is a return offer as well, and prices are also low. So what you do, you basically tend to buy from online store. So similarly here you are comparing your competitor's product as well. Okay, the same, it could be similar product, same quality, same durability. Then you tend to buy the person with more discounts. Okay, or where you tend to pay less money. So as this particular thing is there, so you try to increase your market share. You are trying to get customers from your competitors or your rivals. Next is to overcome off seasonal slump in sales. So you could see this. This is very what you call majorly seen in the market. So if there are seasonal products, okay, seasonal products. So at the time of season, the price goes very high. But at the time of off season, when people are not in requirement of it, so you will get discounts of a very large percentage. It could be 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 also I've seen. Okay, where because they are having that particular product and they want to ramp up the sales. They have to have some sales at non-seasonal time. Otherwise, they need to shut down the company. Right. So it may so happen that you are accumulating for the season, well and good, but you need to sustain in the market as well. So to do that, what you do, the already existing products that you are having, you put discount on them. Okay, stating that if you buy now, you are getting this much of discount. So these are the things where even you generate the sales even when it's a non-seasonal product at a non-seasonal time. Okay, then to retain customers. So it may so happen that okay, new and new entrants are there into the market with different products. Okay, you want to check them out as well, but how to retain the customers? So you are providing with discounts, you are providing with extra product like 10% more at the same price, or some additional benefit. Like if you buy one, you are getting something different. Like if you are buying a toothpaste, you are getting a toothbrush free. Okay, or if you are buying a shampoo, hair oil is free. So something like this, you are giving your customer, you are trying to keep your customers with you. Okay, so then to support and complement advertising and make it more effective. So complement advertising in the sense, just by advertising you may not get customers or you may not get increase in sales, but by complementing it with promotional activities like giving them discounts, okay, like telling them you are getting more of warranties if you buy it now, or if you buy it at this particular place in this particular time duration only. Okay, so here it is supporting your advertising as well. Okay, your sales promotion in getting your more sales, increasing your sales basically. So this is importance of sales promotion. Okay, and next conventional tools. Okay, we'll see it in the next class. Okay, we'll stop for today. So this is what we saw. We started with module 4. Okay, we saw direct marketing, importance of direct marketing. Then we saw features of direct marketing, functions of direct marketing, advantages, disadvantages. Then promotion, what are promotions? Then the importance of sales promotion. Okay, in the next class we'll start with the conventional tools used, okay, in promotion and advertisements. Okay students, we will stop for today.